It was supposed to be one of the best days of my life, the day I would finally ask the woman I loved to be with me forever. I'd been planning it for months, saving, preparing, imagining the moment over and over in my head. But what happened? That day broke something inside me I didn't even know could break. We met in college. She was this whirlwind of energy and warmth, the kind of person who lights up a room just by entering it. That was her. Her laugh could lift a storm, and her eyes always seemed to be dreaming of somewhere far away, somewhere only she could see. I was the quiet one, the one who blended into the background, watching her from afar long before I ever found the courage to say a word. But somehow, she noticed me. One afternoon in a crowded library, she sat beside me, knows words, just a smile, and something clicked. We started talking, then laughing, then spending hours together, sometimes doing nothing but sharing silence. Eventually, those moments turned into a relationship, at least. I thought it was one. She was unpredictable, sometimes distant, sometimes incredibly close. I figured that was just her personality, her mystery. I convinced myself that love was about holding on, being patient, understanding someone even when they were hard to read. Over 2 years, I learned everything about her, what made her laugh, what scared her, what she wanted out of life, or so I believed. She used to say, "I'm not the settling type." And I always brushed it off with a laugh. Neither am I'd say, even though I was. I wanted to build something real with her. And so I decided to propose. I picked the spot where we first really talked, that library garden now blooming again in spring. I organized everything. A path of rose petals, fairy lights in the trees, soft music playing. My hands were trembling when I hid the ring box in my jacket. I texted her, "Meet me at our spot." She replied with a simple coming. Minutes passed like hours. My heart was pounding. Every time I heard footsteps, I thought it was her. Finally, she appeared, wearing that red scarf I'd bought her last winter. She smiled when she saw the setup, but not in the way I expected. It was more amused than touched. I took her hands, knelt down, and said everything I'd been carrying in my heart for years. "I love you more than I've ever loved anything. You've made my life brighter. I don't want to imagine a future without you. Will you marry me?" There was a long silence. Then she laughed, not the joyful, overwhelmed kind of laugh, but a sharp, almost mocking one. "My God," she said, pulling her hands away. "You're serious?" I didn't move, couldn't. She shook her head, still laughing, still amused. "You really thought I was the marrying type?" "I told you I'm not built for all this forever stuff." Tried to respond, but my voice cracked. "But I thought we were in this together." She looked at me, her expression softening. "Little I care about you, okay? But this isn't me. You're amazing, but you're not what I'm looking for." And with that, she turned and walked away. I stayed there on one knee long after she was gone, the ring still open in my hand. I didn't cry right away. It came later in the darkness of my room, curled up, wondering what part of me wasn't enough. Days passed like a blur. My phone was filled with messages from friends, but not from her. Not a word, not even a sorry. It hurt more than I can describe. It's not just the rejection, but the realization that I had built an entire future in my head with someone who had never seen me the same way. Someone who kept me close only because it was convenient, because I made her feel safe, not because she ever truly loved me. People say time heals. And maybe it does. But healing isn't forgetting, it's accepting. It's learning to live with the cracks. Months went by slowly. I began to rebuild. I started traveling. I wrote more. I met new people. Tried to rediscover who I was before. Her, then, one evening, as I sat in a little cafe far from home, I saw her. She walked in, holding hands with someone new. She looked different, happier, maybe. Or maybe just lighter, like someone who had no regrets. Our eyes met. For a second I thought she'd look away, but she didn't. She smiled, that same amused. A smile. I smiled back. Not out of bitterness, but peace. She came over. "Hey," she said. "Long time, yeah," I replied. "You look well?" She nodded. "You too. I heard you've been writing." "Trying to," I said. She hesitated, then added, I never meant to hurt you. I looked at her not with anger, but understanding. I know, I said. You just never loved me the way I loved you. She gave a small, sad smile. No, I didn't. There was nothing else to say. She went back to her table, and I walked out into a night filled with stars and silence. That night I didn't feel broken anymore, just grateful. Grateful that I had loved deeply, that I had tried, that I had the courage to give my heart, even if it was crushed. Because real love is never a mistake, even when it ends in heartbreak. And if you're out there holding your heart for someone who doesn't see its worth, don't beg, don't chase. Let him go. The right one won't laugh when you kneel. They'll kneel with you.